Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this episode I'll be showing you how to create a mobile application for checking students' marks without using any code or using no code technology. I've been training no code technology, which was sponsored by ISESCO, and I've started to like how these platforms are really becoming useful in our everyday life. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'll just dive into the actual work. So what we're going to do, we're going to build this mobile app. This mobile application here is having the home in the navigation, home, result, user. When you click on user, users should be able to see their users details. And then when you come to home, it shows the home page of this application. Then when you go to result, it should be able to display the marks here. So what I did, I decided to make this a little bit easier for the learners to follow, and you could also learn how to build this application. I'm using this platform called Glide, but the pro version, the paid version. So I'm going to design exactly this application, but we will be designing this application from scratch. So one thing that I've loved about Glide is that it's very simple to use. So let's head over. The most important thing before we get started with this application, you really need to understand one thing, that when building an application like this, you need to have some images. I already have some images, and I did some data scrapping from some free website because I'm going to use dummy Excel data. I don't want to use I want to take privacy as key, so I won't be using or showing some details which are not meant for the general public. So let's follow this tutorial along. It's going to take probably 30 minutes or 20 minutes to build this application. It's very simple, but we'll build it from scratch. There are no complex functionalities, but I'll be showing you more ways how to build this application, maybe using with some AI tools, but these are the things you need to know. And then one thing that you need to know, that it works with data. So we'll be having some, I never wanted to show that data, but one thing that I wanted to know, I will cut that part off. It works with data, okay? So we will be having some data here, and then some actions that we can be able to perform. Then play around with settings, and then see how to invite people to use the application. It's one of the secure way of building applications using Glide platform. Now I have some raw marks which I generated from this website here. This is the website where you can probably get any mockup of data in spreadsheet or CSV format. So I already did the generation of this data, and I tried to fine tune it so that it can suit up with the applications that I want to build here. So I can try to show you the data that I literally generated from this website. So this is the data that we are going to be using to build this application. So the columns are up to I, and then the rows are 1001. But the student number here, these are just dummy names that I generated and the dummy emails that I picked. And we have some marks here, only that these marks here are just basically for demonstration purposes. The only thing which is going to be unique in this training is that the data that I'm going to use, it will only show, it won't show all person's data. It will only show rows that are meant for that particular user, and we'll be taking email column to be the row on a column, and my format is into CSV, which is comma separated value. Yeah, so that's what I will be focusing on. Now let's begin and start designing this application. Since we are going to design this application from scratch, I believe you should move or follow the steps. You will be able to design this application as simple as this. So to begin with, I have my masterclass here where I'll be uploading this content, and please be sure to subscribe, because I'll be able to hit on this subscribe button, because I'll be able to upload videos on how to build web or mobile applications using Glide, and I want to upload at least 14 videos so that people can start using some of these no code or low code platforms. But Glide seems to be very good in terms of user satisfaction and in terms of the UI and the UX. It's being used by popular application. If you head over to Glide website, Glide apps, so you realize here that we have over 85,000 companies that already use this, but quite very many people are not yet aware about these platforms, but we'll try as much as possible. Since its launch in 2019, that's when I started using some of these no-code platforms. But you could build a web application, or you could be able to build a mobile application, and it can help you complete so many tasks, and it avoids you from using the traditional spreadsheet application. So there are so many things that comes in, but what is important is that when you go to the pricing is where you need to pick. I'm using the paid version, which is about $1,000 US, 99, but it's having the components of Glide API, the basic API that I can use for integration, and supports up to 25,000 rows and 10,000 updates in a month. So unlimited apps that you can create. You can invite over 50 private users to use the application, which is very beautiful with this cost. So I'm not marketing for Glide literally, but I just want you to get to know there are so many things, perfect fits that you can find here within the apps. You can publish the app as a mobile application. You can have user data in spreadsheet, Google Sheet, all this, but I will be using the data which is in Kali or spreadsheet format. So all these are the integrations that comes with. You can integrate Slack with the collaboration tools like Slack or Gmail. These are very good features that you can get with Glide. So let's just open Glide and then we get started. Okay, so this is the paid version. Once you pay, you will see the pro version, the one I'm using. It's paid by the ISESCO, which is an organization in Morocco that is supporting Africans in terms of pushing up with the emerging technologies or upcoming technologies. Now we're going to start quickly by clicking on new application. Now we need to pick what we are going to build. Are we going to build a large screen or web application or a mobile application? I'm so much interested in having the interface in the mobile app, so I'll go with the mobile app. And because my friend Angela is the one who paid for it, so you'll see our name coming, Angela. Now I want to think about the mobile app name, so I can do like something like Mac Recess. Now since now I have Mac Recess here, I do not want the app name to always be long, so I always encourage, if possible, you could shorten it as to 6 letters or 5 letters, but 6 should be the maximum, or 7. So I'm going to do Mac SE, which is for software engineering. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go with the mobile, then I'll click on next, continue. Now you need to select a source. With Glide by default you need to select a data source, but for now what I'm going to do, I'll just use the Glide table. I won't import for now. Then I'll click on what? Create app. It will take some few minutes, then it will be able to generate that interface for you, which shouldn't be something which is going to take long, but it's one of the most easiest way out to build application. So now when you come to this page, what Glide does is that it comes with some dummy data, which is basically like an application that you can use. But we want to clear our screen and then start building our application from scratch. So what I will do, I'll just delete the components, and also in the navigation, I'll right click and then delete. I'll also right click and then delete. So I literally don't have anything, but the user data will be locked because you really need at least the user profile to log in. Then this is one step. I'm also going to go to data and delete the tables. We will create our tables we will import, but you can create these tables from scratch. So the table right now that we have is the user table, which is not something which is bad, but I'll try to blur these emails later so that you don't be able to see what is within this user table. Now the table which I'm going to put here, I'm just going to get here a new table, which I'm going to call it result. Now this table here, I'm first going to delete the column. Okay, now I already have a table result. Now I'm going to create another table which I will call it user. It will be different from the other user table which helps for the login. So this has users, this has user. So now here I will also go ahead and delete. Alright, so as simple as this, I already have this application which still doesn't have any output here. Now what I'm going to do, basically I need to pick my default color. So I'm first going to head over to color. I also need an icon. So I'll click on upload, then I'll upload the Mac logo. So that is now my icon, but Mac, this is not the default color for Mac. So I'll try to go to appearance, then try to change the color. If I click on this color, this may not be the green color of Makerere. So what I will head over to, I'll head over to another browser and come to Makerere here, then try to pick this color using a color picker, which is called ColorZilla. Then I'll just click on this color, pick, then I will pick this color. Now I already have that color. Now the next thing is that I should be able to change the color. So what do I prefer? Darker? Yes, that's what I would prefer. Into the navigation, then the color here, I'll try to pick and paste the color code which I copied from ColorZilla. Okay, I think that is perfect for now. I have that. Then I can upload also the logo here. Okay, so that if we go back to the application here, then we could see there's no configuration yet, but at least the color is quite better. And when you go back to our color appearance, realize that we picked our own color. So this is one good thing that we'll be able to proceed with. So when you go to color, you see it's the color we have chosen. Okay, so that is very beautiful for now. Now we shall go and start now designing our interface, the UI. We need to begin with the navigation. So we will click on this under navigation, this plus. Then we shall create screen from data. So we'll create screen from data. We can pick the user data, which it's there, and we will try to disable this part of adding data or allowing user to edit data. Then we can also go to the label, which will be user. Then the icon, we could try to put it for like a human to show it's a user. Now we have the user data, and so we can now go ahead and also create the result from result. Now you see here we have these two, which is okay, but we don't want a situation where a user can add data, so we have to disable this actions of allow user to edit items and allow user to add items. We have to just disable that. So we have result and we have user. The only other thing which we can add is the home. So we can go here, then create custom screen. Then we can change here custom screen to be home. So in the custom screen we'll have home. Now the home icon is normally this one, but you realize home is there and we have to put home in the center, so we're just going to drag home to the center. Now we have user, we have home, we have result. Now this is very beautiful for what we have so far done. Now our next approach is to make sure that when you're building this application, when they come to the user, a user should be able to see his profile, and when we go to home, it shows us to the home page, just like the way this app is being designed. So we're going to just use exactly how this app is, so that it becomes very easier for us to continue. Right now this app is having this green color, but we haven't set ours yet, which we will set that in a short while. Okay, so when we come to appearance color, in the navigation top, the style, all this should be able to show. Okay, so we'll first leave that navigation top, but you could also put it to the left, the position of the navigations. Okay, now one thing that I want us to quickly do, when we come back to our layout here, is now to start looking at which page are we going to start designing. So are we going to be first focusing on the result part? So we could start with the result. Yes, we could start with the result, and then later go to let's start with the result page. So let's go to our application here in the result, then click on component, then add a container. So we have a container. Now we have to insert a component, which is going to be an image. Now in this component, it's bringing the other image because when you look at this data source is from image, but we can change it and upload an image which is on our desktop inside process trainings. In the trial file, you could pick this, so it will upload and integrate for you in the back end. So this having been done makes it looks much better. There's one thing that we did, the color, we just going to use SN color, so that our color is always uniform instead of using the dark color, because when you look at this particular application is taken with the accent color. Okay, that is nice. Now I'm not yet very fast, so I'm just moving on well. Now the next thing that we need to do is to put this header text here. So we could copy this text here. Now since we have that text, now we could go to our application and then insert a header or a headline. Then in the headline we could put the other text we copied and paste it there. Now we could make it centrally aligned. Okay, then we are going to go and add one more separator to separate this. When you look at this application from here, then you can also add in this text. Now we add in that text, which is basically going to be when you come to components and then we go to text, then we add the other text this side. So this is so far what we have done with this page, but the bad thing, we have done it on the home page. So we just have to remove it from there. We could leave that, but we can just go to the result page, is where we are supposed to have those changes from. So we are designing it, so we just repeat the same process. Just have to delete this result for now. Then go to container, insert image, then get to the image, upload the image, okay, so we have our image there. Okay, so we just need this header, so we go to component, go to header, then put the header text here. Okay, then we go to component, put a separator, go to component, then add text, then go to this other part of the text, so we're done with this centrally align it. So we're done with this part of the result, but the only part which is not yet integrated is how do we want the data to be displayed. So that is one other thing that we are going to look at when we go to the next step. So in the home, we can now go to this application here, then look at the home. So we have a link here which takes you to this YouTube channel, which I'm going to show you how to add that link. Let me head over to this part, then can go to insert, then we have a link which is going to be, you could even type link, which is this link. So we want to change, instead of linking us here, we want to change it to the icon first, to my channel, then instead of having this name, okay, we're going to change that So we could make it custom. The URL, we can pick up this URL. Okay. Then the name, we could make it custom. Then add Jeff Joff, which is the same as what we did here. Okay. Then you can just put these images. Basically, we could add another component, put a separator. Then we can now add another component, then put images. We could change this image and upload. From the training, process trainings, could pick with I think this first one in any order. Okay, so we can add more images. Can add one more last image since we had 3 images. Then we can just change the upload, then go to desktop, process trainings, image 2, select uploads, go to the last image, go to image, from URL, image, upload image, pick the image file, desktop, process trainings, okay. So we have the 3 images here, which is really cool. We have the result, we have the home. So we will now come to user. Now in the user, first I'm going to in the user part, let's check out here how we design this user. In the user we have this banner, then we have this text like that. So we can also do the same. So let's go to Mac, then set a component, an image, then pick the image, upload, trial, select, okay. We could add another component, then a separator, then you can just copy this text, then add over to component, add over to text, then paste the text there, centrally aligned it, go to component, add a separator. Now there's something that I'm going to implement later, but when I'm done with this, then you, for Romax, you go to component, headline, and then paste it there, centrally aligned it. Then copy this last part of the text, go to insert text and put it there. Then you can add another component, separator. Then the last part of it is a button that takes you to my YouTube page. So you can now go to, then you will be able to insert another button. Could type here. So the button comes, it's a success button. You can go to action, then change this to subscribe. Put the icon for a video. Okay. Okay, now since we have the icon success, we need some actions. Add the condition. Okay. So instead of showing notification, we're just going to get it to it will open a link instead. So this link is going to be from my YouTube channel where I'll upload this video. Okay, so when you click here, it takes you to my YouTube channel. So this is how I've designed this, but now to display your user profile, just have to come here, then go to, we could do cover. But when you do cover title, we just have to scroll this all the way to, okay, above there. So right now it won't show because it won't show because we haven't integrated our database. Now to make it more complex is that our table in the data do not have data. So we're going to import. Click on that, right click, then import. So we're going to import from this mockup data that I created in the process, the one I showed you. Since it's a CSV, it will just import all the data. So you could see I have all the data here. The only thing which I don't want is that this data here needs to be a little bit formatted. So we could edit this and then make it to 1. Then you can say, okay, I think that is okay. Still having a separator, we can edit it more and use group separators. We don't need that. Okay, then you can also go to do the same for Courseworks. And then we can use numbers, but precision to 1, remove the group separators. You can also go do it for project, do the same thing. And you can also do for final mark, do the same thing. Okay, so we're done with we are literally done with the result table. So we're now going to generate another CSV file that can help us get the users with student number and ID. So what you're going to do in the other same Excel file that I created for you, we're just going to create a copy of this file. We're going to create a copy of the file. Save a copy. So a copy is going to be for user. For now, we'll make it in a .xls so that we can modify something from it. It has not yet saved. Maybe I have two spreadsheet files. Let me check it. Not yet. File. Save a copy. The format should be XLS. I can check it again and see if I have the file. Okay, we can even import that file directly if you can't see any changes right now. Where is my file being saved? File, save a copy. Yeah, I'm sending it to Process. Okay, let me save a copy there. No, create it and call it 1. Let's check and confirm if that file is there. Actually, the files are here. So we could open one here. Now in this file here, we don't need the max column. We don't need this column, so we can delete this column. Now this is the only data we need. Now what you can do, we can now save it as a CSV user, but this time round we need to save it in form of text CSV. Okay, so that's the format that it's okay in spreadsheet that can avoid manipulation. Okay, now we have the data. Now we can go back to our app We are almost getting done with the application. Then click on user, right click and import. Open the application, then go to user, CSV, import. So we have imported the data successfully here. Now what you can do, you can edit, make it numbers, remove the separator, and then precision to 1, which is just to integers, not floating points. Okay, now the next action that I want us to do is the one where we're going to be a little bit technical. When you click here, then make row owner. That is where we set the privacy. When you make the row owner, it will only get access to the data or the rows he has access over. Then from there you can also make you can also go to the result column, then in the email part make row owner. So the row owner works in the email, so that when the user uses his email to log in, he will only be able to see his personal data. Now, to show you how these applications work, we have the row owner, then we have made the row owners. Now there's one thing we need to fine tune in our layout here in the result part. What do we want to show? Okay, so we can go into this application and click on, when you come to result here, okay, what do we really want to show? So now we could first make this icon much better by changing it to this icon, which is looks for checking results. Then you can now go to component, we go to data grid. Now in the data grid, what data are we pulling? You know, there's something that I don't want to be, I don't want these actions where user add or even edit our data. No, they should only be able to view. That's why I set that action to what? Allow user, I turn them off. So it automatically integrates the script, the source code, and it displays. Now what do we want to show? We only want to show the or maybe you can just show, it's going to be long, the student number, the coursework, the final project, add one, and then show the final mark. Okay, I forgot only just one item to add the course code, which is okay. We can literally add it up. Let's just add the course code now up. Insert, then create heading, then put the course code here, which is BSE 2301. Any course code, you're not being specific, but any course code would be okay. Now, we have chosen how we want our data to be displayed. Now, there's one thing that you need to know. we haven't published our application. So we designed the application, but here you only have access to the data that you are supposed to view. If I was the user, I logged in, I should be able to what? To view the data. Now let's try to implement that and see how we can view the data. Okay, I'm going to go to my setting, then go to privacy, then control. Any email in the table, it's the one that should be able to what? In the table, any email in the table result should be able to view that data. So that's the privacy that I put. I haven't put the link public. That means no one is able to access it. And this is how secure we can look at this. There are so many things we can do with integrations. Now, I'm now going to go and publish my application. And this is going to be my application name to Glide. So let me click on publish. So right now it's taking some few minutes to publish my app, and you can see how fast this has been. You can scan this QR code and then get the application name, or you copy this, but the only thing is you cannot use the application unless you invite your email. So let me now try to invite myself to be able to use the application. So let me send you the invite. I actually sent myself the invite. So since I've already invited myself, I should have seen another email coming up. So I have another email now that has come here. You can clearly see Mark SE invited me. So when I come here to open this application, open the app. Now the app will definitely ask, the app is going to ask for the user login credential. Oh, because I've been invited through the application. Now in the user, this is what I see. But if I was using the phone, I would actually view it much better. So this is how the web application looks like. So I can come to home, displays these images that we put. When I come to results, okay, I still can't be able to view the results here. So that means I have to go back to the Glide application, to the layout, then the data grid of the result. Okay, I picked what I should display. So where is the data source coming from? Result. Okay, so now when I go to where I've been invited, I refresh. Oh, I have to send myself. The email address doesn't have access to this app. Okay, much as I've been invited to use the application, I still don't have access. That's one thing that I was expecting. Now, for me to view some results here, I just need to go back to this application here, then go to the data, because they've made clearly raw owners here. I'm now going to change this email to mine, which is in the system, okay, so that I can be able to, I also update this. Now in this way I can view only these results from the system. So now I can now go back and try to load again. So because now I am there, it has sent me a pin which I can definitely use for logging in. Now I can copy this pin, which expires in 3 seconds, and then I can sign in. So now after signing in, I am able to view these results here. So this is how technical it is, but for the purposes of the training, after when I'm editing the videos, I'm going to blur certain components that should not be shown. If you watch this video up to this point following low code or no code technology, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be teaching you more how to use the low code platform to create beautiful software like this without coding. And literally I didn't write any code, but I'm able to create this application, and I've shown you how you can use the privacy to only display a person's results only. Thank you. See you in the next episode where I'll be designing a Juma app for the Muslims. Stay tuned for that app. It's going to be an amazing app. Thank you.